In today's video, we are going to look at the potential for Bitcoin to be at 200k this year. We could even be at 150k by August. Also, I'm going to speak about a really interesting subnet on Tau, which I think has the potential to make Tau even bigger, much bigger actually. This is only one subnet, that is 110. So great video ahead. Let's start with altcoins. So as you can see today, we have a mix. Some altcoins are doing very well, Quant, Cake, Virtual, and others are red. Tau is in the same place, holding the 445 region. I think this is an accumulation zone for Tau, similar to 200s. I think the next move for Tau will take us to 800 to 1000. Even if I think even this cycle we could reach between 3 to 5k. Even best case scenario we could reach 10k because there is no limit for Tau. So let's pick a great subnet called Templar. So as you can see, this is the founder of Tau, Const. Templar is the first decentralized platform in the world to train LLMs, large language models. OpenAI, DeepSeek, all of those are large language models. This is the first platform in the world that you can train this kind of big models in a decentralized way. So this is huge. From Templar could come the next DeepSeek, the next OpenAI, but this time in a decentralized way, in a decentralized fashion, instead of being one company that has access to this 70 billion model parameter. In this way is decentralized, anyone can access it, anyone can contribute. So big update for Templar. They released their white paper. It's been a subnet that I've actually been looking for a while, along with Shoots, which is my #1 conviction for subnets. I think Templar has a shot actually of doing very well. If they succeed, Templar by itself could be worth billions. So if Templar is worth billions, also you can imagine that Tau will be 100, 500 billion. We are speaking about one subnet on Tau. Just imagine the power of having 1000 subnets. Even if 10% of these subnets are really good, we are speaking of a potential of 100 billion just worth of subnets. So let's go into Templar. As you can see, Templar is the first in the world to achieve permissionless incentivized pre-training of a large language model. What makes Templar the first in the world? It's permissionless LLM pre-training, no KYC, no centralized control, no gatekeeping. Anyone in the earth with internet plus compute could submit these pseudo gradients to help train a 1.2 parameter model. They already did that. Templar, now the next goal is to be 5, 7, 10. The thing is, they already proved they can do with 1.2. So they, in the future, we could be speaking about a $50-70 billion large language model parameter, similar to OpenAI. If this succeeds, this could be one of the biggest, not only subnets, but actually one of the biggest projects in the space. So is incentivized by blockchain. Peers are paid in real with crypto tokens, in this case Tau. Is global distributed compute, unlike federated learning, where participants are pre-selected and coordinated. Templar system required no permissions or whitelisting. Why this matters? Templar proved that decentralized AI training is no longer just a dream. It's live, on-chain, and working. So this is the first one of its kind. This makes, for the first time, a serious alternative to centralized labs like OpenAI, DeepMind, DeepSeek, and is permissionless, crypto incentivized, open to global contributors, and transparent and auditable. What comes next? You can train bigger models, 70, 7, 13, 30, 50. There is no limit for Templar. So really good update. If you want to learn more about Templar, I'll say this is a great interview with one of the contributors for Templar, with Mark Jeffrey. Really good interview. But main case here is one of the best subnets. Templar, along with Shoots, for me, will do very well. I think we are speaking about two subnets that will reach easily billion valuation. So now let's look into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin above previous supply. So this was the level that we were, let me show you here. So we were around 108K in December. As you can see, we had a big correction. And since then, since a few days ago, we actually broke new all-time highs. So Bitcoin now is holding pretty well. As long as Bitcoin is above 100K, really bullish. I don't think we're going to lose 100K. It's not good for Bitcoin if we lose it. So as long as we even range around 100K, really bullish, new all-time highs. If you look at global M2 and Bitcoin, the correlation is absolutely insane. As you can see, it's been following pretty heavily. As you can see, we could have a correction, and I expect actually maybe to go to 120, 130K, and then correct maybe to 100, 105, and then continue to 150. But the case for Bitcoin is really bullish. We are looking at the potential of 150K. Remember, global M2 has a 90% correlation with Bitcoin when you look at 1 year time frame. So pretty good. M2 tracks liquidity, deposits, currencies. So really good so far. It's been following pretty well. When you look at M2 and Bitcoin, as you can see, majority of the time it follows really well. Of course, it's not 100%, but it helps you having an idea of what's happening in the global market. So Bitcoin looking good. We could have corrections, but overall, we could be looking at Bitcoin target of 150K by August. I think 130 is the most conservative one. And I think end of the year, we could even be at 200K. I think my base case scenario for Bitcoin is 150K this year. Could we go lower? Could we go higher? Yes, we could. But so far, I think that's pretty good for Bitcoin if we reach this kind of level. So far, looking really bullish. So another very important thing that people always ask me: are altcoins going to have a bull market? Yes, they are. But remember, only between 70 and 74% we had bull market for altcoins. So far we are at 64. I've been saying this on my Discord. If you want to be part of Discord, there is a link. Whop. Be aware of scammers. I only have one TikTok account, one Instagram. If you want to message me, Instagram is the best place. I've been speaking with my members there. I spoke about this move for Bitcoin 1.5 months ago when Bitcoin was around 80K. I was like, there is 90% chance that actually in May we have new all-time highs, and we have. In terms of altcoins, we only have alt season when you look at past cycles when Bitcoin is in the last phase. So the last phase for me is between 130 and 200K. I think around that time, altcoins in a span of 3-4 months are going to do very well. Historically, 70% was the level where Bitcoin crashed. I'm not so sure if you're going to have such a big crash like this, but even if we have a 20% correction for Bitcoin dominance, expect altcoins to do 3, 5, 10 times. So looking good for Bitcoin dominance. I still think we have a bit more upside. But Bitcoin, I think, reaching the target. Another very important thing is Bitcoin power law. If you look on the daily, this has been tracking Bitcoin price 95% of the times. When you look at the potential peak, could be around 200K by end of this year, beginning of next year. In my opinion, I think Bitcoin tops around first quarter of 26. And I think honestly 200K is also my base case. When you look at this, we could easily go to 200K. Best case scenario, 250, 300K. I think if we reach 200K is already pretty insane. But it's another indicator that has been tracking Bitcoin pretty well. As you can see, every top we reach really close to the golden line, as you can see. So golden is around 200K. That's why I say we could also top around 150. But overall, really bullish. Bitcoin dominance also getting to the level I want for altcoins. Another important thing is USDT dominance. You can see that USDT dominance is starting to decrease as well. So really bullish overall for risk on assets. We could have a bounce here, but in the long term, in the higher time frame, I think we reach 1 to 2% for USDT dominance. You want USDT dominance to be bearish, meaning people are moving from USDT to crypto. Okay, now let's look at altcoins. So Tau 446. When I look at the price action of Tau now, I think we are in a very similar situation to 200. So look at here, we had actually the same thing. We have this correction. We went from 273 to 178. We have this move and then explosion. The same thing here. Go to 500 more or less. Correct to 300. Have here a lower high. And now next move might take us to new all-time highs. So I think we are in an accumulation zone. We could spend a bit more time around this level. Above 500, Tau will fly. But at the moment, we could easily see Tau ranging between low 400s and even 300 and then go higher. But looking at the potential of this, we could see also a big move out of nowhere. You start to see more and more smart people getting interested in Tau. And that's what you want. You want really smart people behind your project. And I don't think there is any project in the crypto space with the potential that Tau has and with the amount of smart people working towards one goal, that is to create the biggest decentralized AI platform in the world, which actually already is. So Tau looking good. Accumulation zone. Chart looks good. When you look at Tau against Bitcoin, also we are at the demand zone above this key level of 95. Tau is going to run. When you look Tau against Bitcoin, we still have a lot more upside. As you can see, we broke this trend line. We have a lot more upside. So I think the next few months, Tau is going to outperform Bitcoin big time. So Solana looking good as well. This is the 0.5 level. We have range highs, mid-range and range lows. We need to surpass to cross this 0.5 level. I'd say above 180, and Solana has basically a free ride towards new all-time highs. So Solana looking good. I think after Bitcoin, Tau, Sui, Solana is my one to go, my project to go. So far I'm mostly in Tau because of the staking rewards, but Solana honestly is also a really good project. Sui had a correction. I was actually expecting Sui to come to this level. This is an accumulation zone for Sui as well. The project is amazing. You have one of the best teams around. Yes, they had a problem. One of the projects in Sui had a problem. They get hacked, but I think the response from Sui was really good and they were able to solve the problem. So definitely one of the best projects out there. Cheap, fast. The smart contract capabilities are really good. And when you look overall, when you look at the amount of developers, also the amount of smart people in Sui is really big. We also have Raul Paul behind the scenes on Sui. So definitely for me, one of the best projects. Third one that is being doing really well, Hyperliquid. Even the chart of Hyperliquid, when you look at Bitcoin and Hyperliquid chart-wise, let me go. It's a really similar chart. So as you can see, making new all-time highs, Hyperliquid, the same thing. As long as Hyperliquid is above 30, we should continue going higher. Also, we are above the 12 and 21. I've been speaking about this also on my Discord. I spoke about actually being a good buy around 10. I didn't buy as much as I should. I'm mostly in Tau, but as you can see, this already did 3x from the level I spoke. So Hyperliquid, decentralized exchange, a lot of liquidity. You can trade any kind of crypto. I think for me, it's one of the most useful projects out there. Yes, it's still centralized, but more decentralized than exchanges. So these are the projects I'm looking at. Basically the same ones I think are the best ones. Tau, Bitcoin, Sui, Solana, Hyperliquid. And of course subnets on Tau, Shoots, Templar. Those are the ones that I'm currently looking. Cilium is also interesting. But basically that's it. Thank you very much, guys. See you.